Jannik Sinner just said winning Roland Garros is one of his biggest goals for 2026. After 3 match points, after being 2 sets up, and after leading 5-3 in the 4th. After that massive comeback by Alcaraz. Now Sinner wants redemption. And when Alcaraz was asked about his rival targeting the one Grand Slam he owns, the one where he saved those 3 championship points and broke Sinner's soul, his response revealed everything about their rivalry. Because Alcaraz isn't scared. He's ready for Sinner to come at him again on clay. And that confidence might be exactly what keeps Sinner awake at night. One of my biggest goals will be Roland Garros. That's Jannik Sinner talking to Ubertennies in late February 2026, still carrying the scars from last June. Still thinking about those 3 match points at 5-3, 0-40 in the 4th set. Still reliving the moment when victory was there, within reach, and somehow slipped away as Alcaraz mounted one of the greatest comebacks in tennis history. The 2025 French Open final was supposed to be Sinner's coronation. He dominated the first 2 sets, winning 6-4, 7-6-4. He was up a break in the 3rd. Everything was going according to plan. Then Alcaraz clawed back to take the 3rd set 6-4. Sinner recovered, broke early in the 4th, and served for the championship at 5-3. 3 match points. 3 chances to close out his first French Open title and complete 3/4 of the career Grand Slam. And he couldn't convert any of them. Alcaraz saved all 3, held serve, then won the tiebreak 7-3 to force a 5th set. From there, the momentum was completely in the Spaniard's favor. The 5th set went to another tiebreak, and Alcaraz won it 10-2. 5 hours and 29 minutes. The longest French Open final in history. And Sinner was on the wrong side of it despite being 2 sets up and 3 points away from the title. That kind of loss stays with you. That kind of heartbreak doesn't just go away because a new season starts. Just 35 days later he gained revenge over Alcaraz to win a maiden Wimbledon title. The Roland Garros website noted about Sinner's response to that crushing defeat. That Wimbledon triumph showed incredible mental resilience. Bouncing back from the worst loss of your career to beat the same opponent in another Grand Slam final just over a month later. But it didn't erase the French Open pain. And it certainly didn't complete the career Grand Slam that's now within Sinner's reach. He has Australian Open titles, back-to-back in 2025 and 2026 before Alcaraz stopped the three-peat. He has Wimbledon. He's never gotten past the quarterfinals at the US Open. And Roland Garros? He's been to 2 finals there, lost to Alcaraz in 2024 and that devastating loss in 2025. So when Sinner says Roland Garros is one of his biggest goals for 2026, nobody's surprised. It's the obvious target, the missing piece, the ghost that haunts him every time he thinks about his legacy. But here's where it gets interesting, because Alcaraz isn't backing down. He's not sympathetic to Sinner's quest for redemption. When asked about defending his French Open title in 2026, knowing that Sinner will be coming for him with everything he has, Alcaraz's confidence was unmistakable. I'm the 2-time defending champion, and was near perfect on clay in 2025, notes the Tennis Gazette about Alcaraz's clay court dominance. That's not arrogance. That's fact. Alcaraz won Rome, Roland Garros, and had an incredible clay court season. And now he's heading into 2026, having just completed the career Grand Slam at the Australian Open. The psychological dynamic between them heading into Roland Garros 2026 is fascinating. Because Sinner has the trauma of that 2025 final. He knows exactly what it feels like to be so close to winning Paris and have it ripped away. That experience can go one of 2 ways. It can motivate you to come back stronger, or it can paralyze you with fear of experiencing that pain again. I won't sleep very well tonight, but it's okay, Sinner said immediately after the loss. That's the kind of statement that sounds mature and accepting in the moment, but probably understates the psychological damage. 3 match points saved. 5 hours and 29 minutes of peak physical and mental effort. All for nothing. That scars you. Alcaraz, meanwhile, has the ultimate confidence boost. He proved he can come back from 2 sets down against Sinner on clay. He proved he can save match points in a Grand Slam final. He proved that even when Sinner is playing incredible tennis and seemingly has the match won, there's still a way to victory. That belief is powerful. I just believe all the time. I never have doubt about myself, even though in those match points down, Alcaraz said after the match. That's the mindset that makes him so dangerous. He genuinely believes he can win from any position against any opponent. And he's proven it enough times that it's not delusion, it's earned confidence. The head-to-head tells the story. Alcaraz leads Sinner 8-4 in career meetings. More importantly, he's won their biggest matches. He beat Sinner in that epic 2025 French Open final. He beat him again at the US Open final later that summer. Their 2025 season record was 4-2 in Alcaraz's favor, with the Spaniard taking the 4 biggest meetings: Rome, Roland Garros, Cincinnati, and US Open, all finals. Sinner did get revenge at Wimbledon, where he beat Alcaraz in the final in straight sets. And he won the ATP finals in Turin at the end of 2025, beating Alcaraz 7-6, 4, 7-5 in another final. So Sinner can beat Alcaraz. He's proven that. But on clay? In Paris? That's Alcaraz's kingdom, and Sinner hasn't been able to conquer it yet. The stats from their 2025 French Open final are absurd. They hit 1,433 ground strokes between them. Sinner won 193 points. Alcaraz won 192. Think about that. Sinner won more total points and still lost the match. Each player broke serve 7 times. The match could have gone either way at multiple points. But when it mattered most, Alcaraz found another level that Sinner couldn't match. When he broke my serve at the beginning of the 3rd set, I felt like everything was to his favor, Alcaraz admitted afterward. I felt like everything he's doing was going to be in. That's honest acknowledgement that Sinner had him on the ropes. That Alcaraz felt the match slipping away. But he didn't accept it. He kept fighting, kept believing, and found a way. That mental strength is what separates champions from very good players. Everyone at that level has the physical gifts. Everyone can hit the shots. The difference is who can execute when the pressure is maximum and defeat seems inevitable. Alcaraz has that gene. And based on the French Open final, there's a question about whether Sinner has it to the same degree. The way Sinner failed to close out that match, missing 2 forehands and a backhand on his 3 match points, suggests he tightened up when victory was closest. That's not a criticism of his overall mental game, which is generally excellent. But it is evidence that against Alcaraz, in the biggest moment, he couldn't quite execute. Now Sinner wants to go back to that same court, in that same tournament, and try again. One of my biggest goals will be Roland Garros. That statement is both brave and potentially self-defeating, because he's putting pressure on himself by announcing the goal publicly. And he's inviting Alcaraz to prepare specifically for their potential rematch. Alcaraz, being who he is, will welcome the challenge. He's not the type to avoid tough competition, or shy away from defending a title against a rival explicitly targeting it. If anything, that external motivation probably makes him more focused, more determined to prove that 2025 wasn't a fluke. The broader context of their rivalry makes this even more compelling. They played 6 finals against each other in 2025. Alcaraz won 4, Rome, Roland Garros, Cincinnati, and US Open. Sinner won 2, Wimbledon and ATP finals. So Alcaraz dominated the clay and hard court season, while Sinner got him on grass and indoors at year-end. That split creates an interesting dynamic. Sinner can point to Wimbledon and the ATP finals as proof he's figured out how to beat Alcaraz. But those were on faster surfaces where Sinner's flatter ball striking and cleaner hitting works better. Clay is different. Clay requires patience, movement, and the ability to construct points over longer rallies. Those are Alcaraz's greatest strengths. The evolution both players have shown also matters. After losing the US Open final to Alcaraz, Sinner acknowledged he needed to step out of his comfort zone to find answers. He's talked about adding more variety and improving his serve to create different looks for Alcaraz. That strategic evolution helped him win at the ATP finals. But has he evolved enough to win on clay against Alcaraz? That's the multi-million-dollar question, heading into Roland Garros 2026. Because Alcaraz on clay, in Paris, defending titles, saving match points, that's about as difficult a challenge as tennis can offer. The pressure will be immense on both players. Sinner will be trying to exorcise the demon of that 2025 loss and complete the career Grand Slam. Alcaraz will be defending his title, trying to win his 3rd straight French Open, cementing his status as the king of clay after Nadal. Those are heavyweight stakes that will test both players' mental fortitude. Recent form adds another layer. Alcaraz just won Qatar and is 12-0 to start 2026. He's reached 13 finals in his last 14 tournaments. He looks unbeatable right now. Sinner, meanwhile, lost to Djokovic at the Australian Open semis and then lost to Jakub Mensik in Doha. He's acknowledged being in a small slump. That form disparity matters for confidence. Alcaraz goes into the clay season riding high, believing he can beat anyone. Sinner goes in trying to find his best form, while also dealing with the psychological baggage of the French Open loss and recent disappointing results. The confidence to play good tennis is there, it's there, Sinner told Ubertennis. That repetition, it's there, sounds like someone trying to convince himself as much as the media. Like someone who knows the confidence should be there, but is working to actually feel it after recent setbacks. Compare that to Alcaraz's natural swagger, his genuine belief that radiates from everything he says and does on court. That's the difference between someone who's dominated recently and someone who's trying to rediscover their best form. The clay court season leading up to Roland Garros will be crucial for both. Monte Carlo, Barcelona, Madrid, Rome. These are all opportunities for Sinner to build confidence on clay and for Alcaraz to extend his dominance. If Sinner struggles in those tournaments, arriving in Paris with doubts, that makes Alcaraz's task easier. If Sinner finds form and wins a couple of those titles, suddenly the French Open becomes more competitive. But even if Sinner arrives in Paris playing great tennis, he still has to face the psychological reality of that court, that tournament, those memories. Sports psychology research shows that traumatic losses can create performance anxiety in the same location. The fear of experiencing that pain again can cause players to tighten up subconsciously. Will Sinner be able to play freely in Paris? Or will some part of his brain be remembering those 3 match points, that 5th set collapse, that devastating loss? Only he knows. And we'll only find out when he's actually in that situation again, with everything on the line. Alcaraz, conversely, has only positive associations with Philippe Chatrier. He's won there twice. He's saved match points and completed epic comebacks there. That court is his happy place, his throne room, his domain. That psychological edge is enormous. The tactical matchup also favors Alcaraz on clay. His heavy topspin forehand kicks up higher on the slow surface, making it harder for Sinner to take the ball early and flatten it out. The longer rallies allow Alcaraz to use his superior movement and defense. The slower pace gives him more time to track down Sinner's best shots and turn defense into offense. Sinner's game is built for faster surfaces where his flat hitting and clean striking can penetrate through opponents before they can set up defensively. Clay neutralizes some of those advantages and amplifies Alcaraz's strengths. That's just matchup reality, and it's why Alcaraz has dominated their clay court meetings. The other factor is experience. Alcaraz has won 2 French Opens. He knows what it takes. He knows the pressure, the atmosphere, the specific challenges of that tournament. Sinner has been to 2 finals there and lost both. Until he actually wins Roland Garros, there's a question mark about whether he can handle the pressure of closing out that specific title. This isn't to say Sinner can't do it. He absolutely can. He's won 4 Grand Slams, including defending the Australian Open. He's proven he can win the biggest matches. But winning your first title at a specific slam is different from defending one you've already won. And the psychological burden of 2 previous final losses at Roland Garros adds another layer of difficulty. Alcaraz, knowing all this, will enter Roland Garros 2026 as the favorite. He'll expect to win. He'll believe he's the better player on that surface. And that belief, backed by 2 titles and that epic 2025 final comeback, gives him a massive psychological advantage before the first ball is even struck. The broader tennis world is already anticipating a potential rematch. Ticket sales for Roland Garros 2026 have been extraordinary, with over 85,000 fans in the queue within minutes of release. The 2025 final created so much buzz, so much anticipation, that everyone wants to see if Sinner can get his revenge. But getting revenge requires more than just wanting it. It requires playing better tennis than your opponent for 2 out of 3 sets, or 3 out of 5. And based on everything we've seen, that's an enormous challenge when your opponent is Carlos Alcaraz on clay. Sinner's stated goal, "One of my biggest goals will be Roland Garros," is admirable. It shows he's not afraid of the challenge, not running from the trauma of that 2025 loss. He's confronting it head-on, declaring his intention to win that title. That takes courage, but it also puts a target on his back and creates expectations that might become burdensome if he struggles in the lead-up. If Sinner loses early in Monte Carlo or Rome, the narrative becomes, can he even get to the final at Roland Garros? If he makes the final but loses to someone other than Alcaraz, it's he couldn't even get the rematch he wanted. Alcaraz doesn't have those narrative burdens. He's already won Paris twice. Nobody expects him to prove anything. He can just show up and play his game, confident in his clay court supremacy. That freedom is valuable in high-pressure situations. The ultimate irony is that Sinner's public goal might actually help Alcaraz. Because now Alcaraz knows Sinner is coming specifically for him at Roland Garros. He can prepare with that in mind. He can visualize their potential final. He can work on the specific tactical adjustments that worked in 2025. He has time to get ready for exactly what Sinner will try to do. Sinner, meanwhile, has to hope that announcing his goal motivates him more than it pressures him. That declaring his intention publicly creates positive accountability rather than suffocating expectations. That's a gamble, but one he's apparently willing to take. The countdown to Roland Garros 2026 has essentially begun. The clay season starts in April with Monte Carlo. By late May, we'll know whether Sinner has found the form and confidence to challenge Alcaraz again. We'll know whether Alcaraz's dominance has continued or whether someone has figured out how to beat him on clay. But based on everything we've seen, the head-to-head record, the 2025 French Open final, the psychological dynamics, the recent form, betting against Alcaraz at Roland Garros seems foolish. He's proven he can beat Sinner there even when Sinner is playing incredible tennis. He's proven he can come back from match points down. He's proven he's the king of that court. Sinner targeting Roland Garros as a major goal shows his ambition and mental toughness. He's not avoiding the challenge or pretending that 2025 loss didn't hurt. He's running toward the thing that beat him, trying to conquer it. That's admirable. But wanting to win Roland Garros and actually winning it against Carlos Alcaraz are two very different things. And Alcaraz's reaction, confident, unbothered, ready for the challenge, suggests he's not worried about Sinner's revenge quest. He's ready to defend his throne. Ready to prove that 2025 wasn't a fluke. Ready to show that he's simply better on clay. Jannik Sinner says Roland Garros is one of his biggest goals for 2026. Carlos Alcaraz hears that and smiles. Because he knows something Sinner is about to find out. Wanting to win isn't the same as being able to win. And on clay, in Paris, against Alcaraz, nobody's been able to figure that out yet. The stage is set. The goal is declared. The rivalry continues. And tennis fans around the world can't wait to see if Sinner can finally conquer his French Open demons, or if Alcaraz will add another chapter to his clay court legacy by denying his greatest rival once again.